Hello, I'm the curator, and this is today's item, and also a new camera angle. Isn't that fancy? Anyway, this is the BFG Tech NVidia GeForce 9800 GT. It's a rather old graphics card. I got gifted it by a friend who knew I was building decent, and as I haven't been able to get a proper graphics card for decent yet, he thought it might be useful. There are a couple of reasons why it weren't. Nothing that was his fault, but I'll just explain them as I go on. Okay, these are the stickers that came off. They were sort of half peeling when I got it through the post. That's why I used to be a bit more tidy, but since I've done a bit of fiddling with it, it's sort of come off a bit. It's a fairly big card. I'll probably measure it and put how big its measurements are in the description, seeing as I haven't measured it yet. But here it is. It's rather thin. I believe it comes from 2007. I can't remember exactly. Again, I'll research better and put it in the description. It's mainly construction, my experiences with the cards, and what information I have on my piece of paper here. Right. So I will be opening it up so you can have a look inside in a minute, but it's fairly sort of sturdy in construction. You wouldn't expect it to be wobbling about. As you can see, it's got S-Video and 2 DVI. Both of them are the type of DVI that you can adapt to have, what's it called? Analog output. So there, as you can see, there. The sort of holding bracket slightly bent, but that's due to my own poor handling. It doesn't have a back plate. That is fairly important on cards these days. As you might be able to see there, that's the warranty void if removed sticker, but we're not going to worry about that because BFG Tech stopped existing in 2010. So the problems I had with this, I discovered later were probably due to my VGA cable being not shielded, but the output of this, how to explain it, it sort of was ghosting, not as it moved, but even when it was still, it looked like it was like blurred, so I suppose that is ghosting. I don't really need to explain what ghosting is to those who know. Although I might as well explain to those who don't know. Anyway, ghosting is when the output of your image looks sort of like it's mid-motion blur, if that makes sense. Like, say you saw this now, it would be ghosted if there was another sort of illusory version of it slightly to the side. So that is sort of ghosting in a really sort of idiot way of saying it. It just needs one 6-pin power port there. Right, as people tend to do when they're doing tech reviews, as this is kind of, they do benchmarks, and these aren't any proper scoring at all. I've not done benchmarks before. I probably won't be doing many benchmarks in the future. Ooh, you can see the camera in the reflection there, I think. Yeah. But I can say this, I used NovaBench because it was free, and it got a score of 207. I don't know if that's good, I don't know if that's bad, but it sounds less than good. The main problems with it, besides it not working, is that even in any small load, it was very, very loud. That might just be because it's old and dusty, it's slightly dusty in there, but it was very loud. And it got quite hot from what I was seeing, numbers I've seen on my screen. Made by BFG, 2002 to 2010 with the company. 112 CUDA cores, 600 megahertz graphics clock, 1500 megahertz processor clock, and a texture fill rate of 33.6. Obviously they're better now. So yeah, it's pretty sad that it didn't work because I put it on Skyrim. I know that's not the best game to benchmark with because it's old by 2016 standards, but I managed to run it on medium at 1280 by 720. Again, I've not got ideal conditions at the moment. You can likely see my monitor is here, and I'll probably be doing a video on that soon as well. You'll see why. and it ran at 60. It was very, very smooth, but it's a pity that I can't use it, so I'm just going to move these over here. I'm just going to open the card up with my special multi-tool. I do like a multi-tool. I've got a couple of these. I'm probably going to start collecting them. Anyway, let's open it up. I'll probably do a jump cut here, so you don't have to watch all of the openings. So see you in a moment. Right, got all the screws off, so we can have a look inside. So take off the fan thing. It's got a, I think it's an SLI thing there. I honestly don't know. I know it's about using more than one GPU, but to be honest, I don't plan to. Well, when I'm doing my game recording, I don't plan to record too many high-end games at the moment. Anyway, taking this off, it's a fairly basic cooler. The thermal paste is sort of degraded. There isn't much of it left anymore, so that's probably why it's so hot. Not that I'll know. By doing all this, I've probably staticked it to death already. I'll be more careful in my future ones, but there we go. It's basic. You can see there. Fan there. Heat pipe going into the fins in there, and it just blows them through. I think it is called the blower model. The air goes in here, comes out there. It's not the best model in the world, and that's why they're working on fixing it. As you can see, because it's not just because it's so flat, but there's quite obviously no way that any air would be able to get out of there, so you can tell it's not the best model. Something I did notice, I doubt that these are thermal things, and I do know that it's important to have your VRAM cooled. This is the VRAM here. I have my doubts that it's GDDR5. It's probably DDR3 or DDR5 or something like that. So yeah, as you can see there isn't any sort of. It doesn't look as if it's damaged at all. Damaged in any way. But I haven't probably done wonders to it by unpacking it. But something I may plan to use it as you can see, it's got the GPU there. What I'm going to do when I get CPU cleaning bits, I'm probably going to practice on it. So I've got like a sort of practice card, and otherwise sort of a coaster, I suppose. So I could buy like a really cheap thermal paste and practice like cooler thing. I do like the springs on here. My gloves, I need to get a new pair of gloves. But yeah, the screws even have got springs on, so you can't really over tighten them. Well, I suppose you can if you put enough effort in, but they're sort of designed to prevent over tightening. So it's not really worth getting unless you collect old graphics cards. It worked sort of well, but let's just say I'm looking forward to having a GPU of my own. I do have a friend has a GPU for me, which I might get next couple of weeks, or by the time this video goes out, I might have it already. I just know that I shan't be using it as a regular work thing. So yeah, as I said, I'll likely practice cooling paste, thermal paste application, and thermal paste removal on it, and well, at least it has that going for it. So thank you very much for watching, and good day to all.